welcome to my first cooking show. We're going to make a spicy turkey meatloaf today. All my recipes are low carb and healthy and delicious. Those are the two things that I'm passionate about, healthy and delicious. So let's begin. Here's all the ingredients we're going to use in our spicy turkey meatloaf. You can find most of them at your local grocery store. The most difficult to find will be the almond meal, which you can find at any store that sells bulk items. I'm going to start by adding a tablespoon of olive oil to my pan. Now I'm going to add my onions and garlic, which I've already chopped. 3 medium cloves of garlic and 1 small onion or half of a larger onion will work. Now I'm going to saute this until it's just browned. As you can see, my onions are getting clear and my garlic is browning. So now it is time to add my other ingredients. I am adding 1 tablespoon of almond meal. Mix that in. Lower my heat a little bit since I don't want my garlic to totally burn. Now I'm going to add my wine, half a cup of wine. Half a cup of chicken broth. Tablespoon of one of my favorite hot sauces. 6 ounces or about half a can of hot rotel. And we'll add 2 tablespoons of Italian seasonings. Just a pinch of salt. Okay, so now I'm going to turn my heat up again a little bit and bring this to a boil. And once I bring it to a boil, I'm going to turn the heat back down and let it simmer uncovered. Now that my sauce is simmering, I'm going to let that simmer for about 15 minutes, and while I do that, I'm going to prepare my turkey. Put your oven on bake and preheat it to 350. Now I'm going to get my turkey ready. I have my pound of turkey that I got at Whole Foods today. Looks great. Now I'm going to add my eggs. I'm adding 3 egg whites and 1 egg. Set my shell aside, and we're going to lightly beat them. A fork is fine for this. Now I'm going to add my egg and egg white to my mixture. Now I'm going to add half a cup of grated zucchini. I've already pre-measured it. Half a cup. Next I'm going to add a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. 1 and 2 of almond meal. Now I'm going to mix it all up. Now with my freshly washed hands, I'm going to mix up the turkey mixture with the eggs, Parmesan, zucchini. Now I'm going to add a few shakes of pepper and mix it in. Always remember to be very careful when handling raw meat, especially poultry, and wash your hands often. Now I have some butter, and I'm going to grease my baking pan with it. You can use wax paper or any other kind of baking grease that you like. I like the flavor of butter personally, so that's why I use it. Alright, now comes the fun part. We're going to add our sauce to our meat. What we're going to do now is add half a cup of our sauce to our meatloaf. And then we're going to reserve the rest for later to put on top of our meatloaf. And it's going to be really delicious. Now here's half a cup of our sauce that we just scooped from the pan. And we're going to add it to the meatloaf and make sure that's mixed in well. Alright, now that we've done that, we're going to pat it into our baking pan. Alright, now we have it in here. We'll just kind of spread it out evenly. Now, what I'm going to do is put a little bit of extra Parmesan on top and not leave it totally exposed because it will probably cook faster and burn if I do that, but kind of lightly go over it with the turkey. But it will make it kind of nice and crispy on top. If you prefer a more moist meatloaf, you'll want to cover your meatloaf with some tin foil over the top. I like mine a little bit drier and crispier, so I'm not going to do that. Now we're going to put our spicy turkey meatloaf in the oven to bake for about 65 to 75 minutes. Or until it starts to smell great. You can really do this one by the scent that it fills your house with. It's been 65 minutes since I put my spicy turkey meatloaf in the oven, and now we're going to check on it. I cut it earlier to see how it was doing. This is it's a pretty juicy meatloaf, and it's crispy on the top. I cut into it again. No juice is coming out. It looks about ready. And I'll show you it again when I cut it and serve it. I'm going to add just a touch of olive oil to my sauce that's been sitting up here. Now I'm going to heat it back up a little bit to add it to the top of my meatloaf when we serve it. Alright, I have my meatloaf here. I have a glass plate. I'm going to take it out by flipping it. And because I buttered my pan, it comes out nice and easily. Alright, now to flip it over, I'm just going to take this long butter knife, stick it underneath it, and turn it. And there we go. Now we're going to serve a little bit of it. Here's a piece for Rob. Now we're going to take the sauce that we had, we reheated, add a little bit to it. And there we go. Now that's a spicy meatloaf. But if you're not into spice, and you don't want it really spicy, or if you just want a little bit of heat, I had an entire tablespoon of hot sauce that I added. You can reduce that. You can do a teaspoon. You don't have to add it at all if you don't want to. Also, I added Rotel, and I added hot Rotel. You can add simply the same portion, I think it was 6 ounces of tomato sauce, if that's more to your liking, or you can add a Rotel that doesn't have any heat, the mild Rotel. So these are all things that you can do to make a delicious dish, and if you're not into the spice, sort of reduce the heat on it. We like the heat, so this is about perfect for us. But there's always other options.